Hey everybody, it's Docgotgame. Today's conversation is going to be regarding Black Desert and why I no longer play it. A lot of people come into the stream and they ask, Doc, are you still playing BDO? Why are you not playing Black Desert anymore? And you guys deserve an answer. I know many of you come into the channel and ask advice about MMOs and what you should play and what you shouldn't play. And for me, the answer when it comes to Black Desert is really simple. It's just not there yet. Now, I'm not saying that it won't get there. I'm not saying that it can't get there. But it's going to take a lot of work before it does. And learning some valuable lessons from ArcAge, specifically but not limited to holding on for too long, I decided to go ahead and put down BDO, at least for the foreseeable future. And I'm going to go into, the reasons why. Now, when I start up an MMO and I play an MMO, what keeps me playing the MMO is that the pros outweigh the cons. And in this case, I just don't feel that the pros in Black Desert outweigh the cons. The biggest con for me with Black Desert is going to be the developer communication or lack thereof. I really have I'm in shock at just how bad the communication is from the development team. It doesn't matter how good your game is. If your communication to your community is piss poor, you're not gonna do well. And to get announcements about major content expansions or content patches the day before they go live with little to no preparation is insane. To learn about these very same content patches, expansions, or whatever it is you want to call them, from third-party websites and not your own website, not through any communication officially from you, is insane. When you look at the patch notes and you look at the communication and you want to know if a class has been balanced, and all you get is PvP balance has been adjusted. What? I mean, how can that even be remotely... How could they think that that would be acceptable? How is that acceptable in a PvP game when you're matching player versus player? How can you justify saying something so vague and not giving any stats? And let's not even talk about the stats in BDO, which is going to lead me to my next point, the RNG. Okay, first of all, the leveling... Okay, it doesn't even bother me. It doesn't even bother me that when you level, you're getting a, RNG set of stats, whatever, okay? However little or big it is, I don't care. It doesn't really bother me that much. What bothers me is the amount of RNG. And I know what you're saying. Doc, didn't ArcAge have, as much or more RNG? You know what? If it did, I sure as hell didn't feel it. Now, granted, I wasn't the most badass geared player on the freaking planet, but I definitely, I was able to hold my own, but I don't know. I just think maybe ArcAge did a better job of disguising the RNG. I don't know, but there's just way too much of it here, from, enchanting the gear to repairing the gear. It's just too much, from getting the black stones to begin with. And let's not even talk about the way that you get the Blackstones, which is going to lead me to my next point, the lack of variation in Black Desert, okay? The lack of variation when it comes to that end game. You are going to do one of three things. You are going to grind mobs over and over and over and over again, which you already do to level. If you're not grinding mobs, then you're forced to do something that you may not even want to do. I don't want to fish. I don't want to do alchemy. I would like to just PvP to excel in PvP. I don't know where that went in Black Desert. I don't understand why it's so hard to allow PvPers to do what they love to do, PvP, for what we want, which is progression. How could they drop the ball so far or so hard with these battlegrounds? These battlegrounds are atrocious. They're an insult. Okay? In a game where the entire open world PvP infrastructure is based upon a ridiculous gear disparity, which I'm going to get to in a minute. You would think that the Battlegrounds would be just a little bit of a reprieve from that, but no. When you jump into the Battleground, your gear, you're going to get one-shotted by level 57s and a half, and with the best gear in the game, plus 15 out, you're still going to get one-shotted. And what is the reward for you dealing with this and swallowing this? It's some stones that you can use for gems. They didn't think to put black stones in there, or I don't know, some way to progress yourself in PvP. Furthermore, the class imbalance. There is no balance in the classes right now. Sorceresses are one-shotting everybody. Berserkers are not able to even be played in PvP because of the ridiculous desync. The class imbalance is just beyond. It's just beyond understanding right now. The APDP imbalance. There's no such thing as being tanky in this game, okay? It doesn't matter if you have a certain amount of defensive power, because someone who has equal or a little bit more attack power, they're just going to kick your ass. So the APDP imbalance is also an issue. You've also got the potion spamming, which we thought was going to go away when they increased the cooldown, but it didn't. It's still there. Potion spamming is an integral part of PvP. Did I say that right? Integral. It's an important fucking part of Black Desert's PvP, and it is frustrating. It is boring. It is annoying. I don't know what they need to do to fix it, but they need to fix that shit. The time to kill, increase it. I don't know what you do, but you gotta fix it. The small to medium scale PvP currently in Black Desert is another major issue for me. There is no incentive to PvP, and I know that some of us are waiting for the node wars and the castle sieges. I'll be honest with you, I don't think that is going to be the savior that you're looking for. I think even with the node wars and the castle sieges, I think that there are going to be people who still have issues with the lack of small to medium scale PvP in Black Desert. The karma penalty is too high. The reward versus the risk that you're taking is too low. It's just not worth going out and doing any kind of small to medium scale PvP. And I know what you're thinking. Why should you be able to go out and gank other people and get away scot-free? That's not what I'm saying. However, in some of the sandboxes that I've played, EVE Online, 7 years, Arc Age, and even World of Warcraft back in the day, some of the largest and most epic battles started with a 3v1 or a 3v2. You go get your boys, I'm going to go get my boys, and we're going to go ahead and kick some ass. And so those are my issues with Black Desert. Not to mention the little things. Those are kind of my major issues. The lack of in-game character customization. I'm not a big appearance jockey, but I know that a lot of people are. And even I appreciate being able to look differently or different than you. I don't want to have to go to the cash shop to buy a piece of armor or a piece of gear like I'm wearing right now. This is all a cash shop getup just to look presentable. And so, do I think Black Desert is pay to win? No, I don't. I do think the ghillie suit is a major issue. I think the ghillie suit was something that should have never been implemented in our version, or it should have been changed to where the moment you open up an attack, your advantage goes away. Now, many of you may not see how bad the ghillie suit is, and that's okay. That's all right. Some of you may not agree with me, and I respect that. But I have led my scrubby guild in large-scale PvP versus other guilds that had mostly ghillie suits, and it is a pain in the ass. It is an unfair advantage that as of right now was only available through the cash shop. And do not sit there and tell me that the flare is enough. The flare is useless. It's just not any good. So there you have it, folks. My problems with Black Desert: the horrible developer or publisher communication, the massive amount of RNG, the lack of variation with leveling and at endgame, the class imbalance, the AP-DP imbalance, the potion spamming, the small to medium scale PvP being overly punished, the ghillie suit, the lack of in-game armor customization. And ladies and gentlemen, that is why I no longer play Black Desert.